Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So, the legendary Shelly-Ann Price, the woman that has rewritten most things we thought were possible in the women's 100 meter and is still going to this day. The queen of the 100 meter, Shelly-Ann Price, is scheduled to have her final tune-up trackies before heading into what will be her final Olympic Games in Paris 2024, and I'm absolutely thrilled to see what will happen once she heads there. Now, Shelly-Ann Price is scheduled to be heading back to Luzern, where she will be competing in the Spitzen meeting on Tuesday, right? And this, incidentally, is her first 100 meters since 2023 in Europe. And if you all remember last season, she had two races in Europe, the 100 meters leading into the World Championships. And incidentally, Luzern was one of those places that she visited, and she'll be back in Luzern again. So clearly, Luzern is near and dear to Shelly-Ann Price's heart when she is ready to have that final tune-up race heading into a major championship. She's done it in previous years, and she's back again in 2024 and will be lining up in the women's 100 meters in Luzern. Now, when it comes to Shelly-Ann Price and this particular 2024 season, it's been pretty interesting. We know based on things that she's come out in the media, and I said she's been struggling this season with a particular injury, which she did do surgery for, and is really coming back into her best running, later on in the season. But it's a part of the game, and she has toughed it out, and she's literally made it onto another Olympic team. Her fourth straight Olympic team. Absolutely. Is this fourth straight or fifth? What am I saying? 2008, 2012, 2016, 2021, and 2024. Fifth straight Olympic Games. What a phenomenal woman, right? So she makes it to yet another Olympic Games. But as I said, this season has not been the strongest for her in terms of her health. Now, she did have a fastest time at the trials, 9.91 seconds. That's what she ran in the semifinals before she ran 9.94 to place third in the women's 100 meters. So off the back of this performance here, in Kingston, whilst at Luzern, I'm not necessarily expecting anything, super fast, right? My thought process is leading into Paris. My hope is if I see Shelly-Ann Price give me a 10.8 something, it gives me good indication that she's in medal contention shape. So meaning that she'll be heading to Paris and be part of the conversation for one of those medals on the podium, because we did see again last season where just off two runs, really two 100-meter runs. She did run the 200 meters at the trials, but she barely had any running in 2023, right? And off those, pretty limited racing opportunities that she had, she still went to Budapest, right? And she ran a 10.77 seconds to win the bronze medal. So when you take into consideration again the timing, when she came out last year, she came out the 20th, and I'm talking over the 100 meters, right? She came out in July. Overall, she came out in July, so it means that she's much ahead, or as far as I'm concerned, much farther along than she was in 2023, because she was only able to come out in July in 2023. Now we're in July in 2024. So I'm thinking at this particular point, based on what we saw at the trials, she's much further along than she was last season. So given that last season when she went to, Europe, Luzern as well, around the 20th of July, she was able to clock a 10.82. And then from there, she went to Madrid and she ran a 10.83. So pretty consistent running there in the 100 meters. So off the back of that, as I said, she was able to, run a solid 10.77 seconds to win a bronze medal. Now looking at 2024, she has come out earlier at the trials and run her races. And as I said, so far in the women's 100 meters, she has a fastest time of 10.91 seconds. So my expectation is, whilst I'm not expecting to see anything super wild, although I'm not going to tell you no lie, if I saw something super wild, I'll be super ecstatic, right? But my expectation is not to see anything super wild. I'm expecting a solid 10.8 run. Even when we go back to 2021, she did hit up a meeting after, winning at the Jamaican trials. She ran a 10.71 to win there, right? But she did hit up a meeting in Europe and she clocked a 10.82 in that particular race. So it's pretty standard for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce when she's doing these tune-up races to run, a 10.8 something, right? So if I get a 10.8 something in Europe, it gives me good indication that she's ready to medal in Paris. Though, even if she doesn't, I'm not going to tell you no lie. When it comes to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she has a knack to always turn up on the day, right? So my expectation is even without, that super, 10.8, I'm expecting her to be a part of the medal conversation. Though, as I said, for the fans, this would give us a good indication of where she is heading into the Paris Olympic Games. And if we know anything about 2021, that was the year Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce came on the scene blazing, 10.63s and made us rewrite our thoughts as it relates to what is actually possible in the women's 100 meters. And here we have following Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce years later, an Elaine Thompson-Hero running 10.6s, a Sha'Carri Richardson running 10.6s, and also a Shericka Jackson running 10.6s. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce pretty much opened the door to that, to have women step their game up, right? So off the back of that 10.82, Shelly-Ann, of course, went to the Olympic Games, ran super fast again, and collected another medal. So my hope is that at this particular meeting in Luzern, we will be able to see a 10.8 something. No, don't get me wrong, she hasn't run 10.8 anything so far this season. But my thought process is, as I said, she is ahead of where she was last year. So we should definitely be seeing a 10.8 something, in my opinion. And that would be a positive sign heading into the Paris Olympic Games. And I'm absolutely here for it. And I'm not going to tell you no lie also. When I compare, her running versus last year, she looks much better, especially out of the blocks, than she did last year. Last year, the start was absolutely nowhere to be found. The pocket rocket, no mommy rocket that we have become accustomed to over the years. In 2023, when we looked at that start, it was visibly nowhere close to what we know of her. Again, pocket rocket slash mommy rocket says it all when it comes to the start, right? And given the knee issues that she was having, it's understandable, right? Now, coming into this year, we saw her at the trials. The start is there. Not absolutely, bullet, but it's still much better than it was last year. So for me personally, she looks much better than she did last year. So now I want to hear your all's thoughts. So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce heads to Luzern over the 100 meters on Tuesday. What are your expectations from a Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, if you have any? And what would be a good indication from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce for you that yes, she is in medal contention? Is it just her name, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, that tells you she's in medal contention? Or are you looking for a particular time or a particular range of performance to say, okay, this looks good enough for a medal placing come the Paris Olympic Games? As I said, let me know your thoughts. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.